Today I'm in Laurel Canyon working with Bosia, and on days like this where I have obligations, I don't really have a ton of time to shoot, so there's not going to be a vlog for today's episode. But I want to take this opportunity, this little bit of downtime that we have, to talk about something that I think is a big issue in Pokemon GO that needs to be addressed. It's about stats again, so if you don't like these episodes where I talk about numbers and do math, you can feel... Hi, Pashinka. Is that it? You just came to say hi? Okay. Anyway, if you don't like these episodes where I talk about numbers and do math, feel free to skip this one. We've already talked about how attack and speed should be addressed in Pokemon GO, but today I want to switch my focus to a defensive stat, HP. In the main series games, every Pokemon has a base HP stat, and in Pokemon GO, it's no different. Well, there is a difference. We call it stamina. I'm not sure why. But unlike attack and defense, the formula for converting base HP to base stamina in Pokemon GO is simple. It's base HP times 2. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to refer to base stamina as base HP to make things easier. Honestly, I think we should be calling it base HP anyway. I don't know where stamina came from. So here we go. With such a direct conversion, you would think it would be hard for Niantic to mess this one up. But somehow, they did. The formula for actual HP in Pokemon GO benefits Pokemon with higher base HP stats. The formula for HP in the main series games looks like this. I'm not going to read it out because it's too difficult, but there it is. That's the formula. The formula for HP in Pokemon GO is a lot simpler. It's base HP plus HP IV times CPM. And again, CPM is a value that comes straight from the game's database that modifies Pokemon's stats and other numbers based on the Pokemon's level. Now here comes today's spreadsheet. We're going to look at each Pokemon's base HP in the main series games and in Pokemon GO, and then we're going to look at their actual maximum HP in each of the games and see how it compares. Here's the spreadsheet, and right now it's sorted by Pokedex number, but since today we're looking at how the HP formula favors Pokemon with higher base HP stats, we're going to switch it up and sort by base HP. Chansey is the Pokemon with the highest base HP stat, and we're going to ignore it as an outlier because it's not really relevant in battles right now in Pokemon GO. Aside from Chansey, Snorlax has the highest base HP stat of any Pokemon, and in the main series, its maximum HP at level 100, that's max level, is 524. In Pokemon GO, Snorlax's max HP is 265. That's a difference of 50.57%. Now as we scroll down the list, you can see that the percent difference gradually decreases as Pokemon's base HP stat decreases. So as we get all the way down to the bottom of the list, the Pokemon with the lowest base HP stat is Diglett. In the main series, its max HP is 224. In Pokemon GO, its max HP is 28. Diglett's max HP in Pokemon GO is only 12.5% of its max HP in the main series games. That's a huge difference compared to Snorlax. Now I get a lot of criticism from people saying, why do you want this game to be like the main series? It shouldn't work exactly like the main series. And that's not what I'm saying here. The thing that I'm comparing is the relative power of a Pokemon with high HP compared to a Pokemon with low HP. In the main series games, there's a much smaller gap between the Pokemon with the highest HP and the lowest HP. So let's take a look at that. Again, ignoring Chansey as an outlier, we're going to use Snorlax as the Pokemon with the highest HP as our reference point. In the main series, Snorlax's HP is 1.08 times that of the Pokemon with the next highest HP, Wigglytuff. In Pokemon GO, Snorlax's HP is 1.14 times Wigglytuff's. And again, as we scroll down, you're going to see these differences get bigger and bigger. As we get all the way to the bottom of the list, you can see that in the main series games, Snorlax's HP is 2.34 times Diglett's HP. That's the highest HP compared to the lowest HP. In Pokemon GO, the difference is outrageous. Snorlax's HP is 9.5 times higher than Diglett's HP. So what that means is there's a huge gap between the top and the bottom. The main series games does a much better job of keeping Pokemon's HP levels relatively similar. In Pokemon GO, it's just out of control. The problem here isn't that Snorlax's HP is too high, it's that every other Pokemon's HP is too low. So what's the difference between the main series HP formula and Pokemon GO's HP formula? It's a constant. In Pokemon GO's HP formula, every value is variable. The base stat, the IVs, and the CPM all change. The main series formula has a lot of variables too. Similar ones to Pokemon Go, base HP stat, IVs, level, but it also has more variables like EVs or effort values. The difference here though is that constant. In the main series games, after adding up and calculating all the variables, a constant is added to every Pokemon's HP, and that constant is equal to their level plus 10. So at max level, that's 110. And basically what that means is every Pokemon's HP gets increased by 110 after all the calculations are done. Now a constant does make every Pokemon's HP increase, but it has a bigger benefit for Pokemon with low starting HP. The constant makes up only about 20% of Snorlax's maximum HP, but it makes up nearly half of Diglett's maximum HP. So you can see that Pokemon at the lower end of the spectrum benefit a lot more from a constant. And it works to bring every Pokemon's HP a little bit closer together so that there's not as big of a range. Again, this is extremely evident when comparing Pokemon's HP values to Snorlax. The difference increases so much more dramatically in Pokemon Go than it does in the main series games, because again, there's no constant in the Pokemon Go HP formula. So on this one, the solution is really simple and easily implemented. Add a constant to the HP formula. That's it. Let's say we use a similar constant to the main series games, level plus 10. In Pokemon Go, we'll round the max level to 40 just to have a nice even number, and the constant that we're adding is plus 50 to every Pokemon's HP. And you can see immediately there's a big difference. So again, looking at the difference between the main series HP and Pokemon Go's HP, currently Snorlax's Pokemon Go HP is about 50% of its main series HP. With this constant, plus 50, Snorlax's HP is now 60% of its main series HP. Now that is an increase for Snorlax, but again, every Pokemon's HP is going to increase, and the Pokemon at the lower end of the spectrum benefit more. As we scroll down, you can see the percent difference is dropping, but not as quickly as it did without the constant. When we get all the way down to the bottom of the list, you can see that Diglett's Pokemon Go HP, again, currently is only 12.5% of its main series HP. With the constant, it's 34, almost 35% of its main series HP. So what we see here is a 22% increase for Diglett, with just a 10% increase for Snorlax. Now if you want to compare each Pokemon to Snorlax as our benchmark, again, you can see compared to the next highest Pokemon, Wigglytuff, with the constant, Snorlax's HP is 1.11 times Wigglytuff's HP. As we scroll down, the difference again increases, but not as dramatically. With the current formula, Snorlax's HP is 9.5 times Diglett's. With the constant of 50, Snorlax's HP is only 4 times as much as Diglett's. Again, this doesn't make Snorlax weaker, it just makes every other Pokemon a little bit stronger, so that there's not as much of a range between the high and low end of the spectrum. And if we wanted to decrease that variance even further, we can just use a bigger constant. So let's say we set it up the same way, level plus 10, but now we multiply it by 2, so you're effectively adding 100 to every Pokemon's HP. Here's what we see. Snorlax's HP would now be about 70% of its main series HP, and as we scroll down, again, the number decreases, but at the very end of the list, Diglett is now 57% of its main series HP. That's a much smaller difference. And again, comparing each Pokemon to Snorlax, Snorlax's HP is now 1.1 times higher than Wigglytuff's, and as we scroll down, the numbers again change even less dramatically. So that at the very bottom, Snorlax's HP is only 2.85 times Diglett's. So it's simple really, adding a constant to the Pokemon Go HP formula is going to make a lot more Pokemon usable in battle. And again, I'm not making Snorlax weaker, I'm just making everything else comparatively stronger. And this simple change could go a long way towards bringing a little bit more diversity to Pokemon Go's current metagame. Again, my goal with these videos is to break up the staleness of the current metagame in Pokemon Go. I'm really tired of seeing the same 5 Pokemon in gyms all the time, and I'm sure you guys are too. So, doing something simple like this, adding a constant to the HP formula, makes a lot more Pokemon a lot more viable as gym defenders. So again, it's a simple change with big impact, and Niantic, if you're watching, think about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. At the end of yesterday's episode, I briefly mentioned that Niantic added more nests with the most recent migration. So it's possible that Furman Park has become an Ammonite nest. I mean, I think this pretty much confirms it. Ammonite cluster spawn here at the park where I've never seen Ammonite before. So before I run out of time, I'm just gonna catch both of these.